Hey guys, we're going to look at suspended and added chords. Now you may have actually picked up quite a few of these learning from this program or just in learning music in general and going, what on earth are they? So really what it comes down to is whether or not there is a third in the chord. Okay, so what happens when you suspend the third note out is it kind of loses definition as to whether it's a major or minor. Now, keep in mind that you still would want to work through some modes. So you've still got your sevenths and other notes that might come into it if you were doing some runs or some lead. So what we really want to look at is what happens when you suspend something or when you add an extra note. Okay, so if I take my A minor here, okay, and if I change that into a seventh, all right, beautiful. What I've done there is I've actually added an extra note. Okay, I've added the seventh. Okay, and that's pretty easy to understand. If I do a C and I add the seventh, you've added it. So it's an extra note, 4 notes in that chord. Now, if I suspend something, then I've taken out the third. Now, and I've left another note in. So this works really well with seventh. So if I take, say I've got my G here. Now, if I just get rid of that third, and a great way to do that is to turn it into a fifth. All right, so now I've turned that into a fifth instead of a third. And look, a few different ways you can do this. Say if I was doing a G major seventh originally, and you're in that key of G major, you've still got a natural seventh in it, which is this note. Okay, so when you suspend it, you get this. And it's really interesting because the tones that are happening there, you've got that beautiful crisp fifth, and then a nice little major third interval. Now, if I wanted, say, to do that as dominant, I drop back my seventh. It's still suspended, but it's got quite a cool little sound. All right, and you'll hear the difference when I add the third back in. And it's really all about that interval pattern. Okay, so there I'm stacking a fifth and then a minor third. Okay, so a lot of the time when people talk about music and guitar, it's triads. Okay, and that's really what they are, stacking these thirds on top of each other. Okay, and a fifth is just 2 thirds stacked together. So yeah, you'll often hear people talk about triads. That's what they're meaning. A third, major or minor thirds whacked together, and that's what makes our chords. Okay, so if I then want to add in a different note, say I want to suspend and add in, let's add in a ninth. All right, you've got to make sure that you get rid of that third in all of its places. So there's my minor third. I need to get rid of that before I start hitting anything else. All right, now with that, the G, I can't drop that back, and this is where it gets tricky. So you need to be clever about how you're going to get rid of these notes. And if I'm looking for a ninth, I can find that here. So there's my minor ninth. Now, rather than being super fancy, I'm just going to drop my second finger back a bit so it just deadens the string below. Okay, and it really cuts the guts out of that chord and leaves it very crisp. It's also very easy to add the third back in. Alright, so you get a feel now how to manipulate that third being in or out. Now, same thing works with the majors and all the other notes there. So you'll go through the chords and learn all of these different weird and wonderful ones, but just really think about how these go together. Now, you can get really clever with them, and it's a bit of fun. Just pick, say, 3 strings to start off and go, okay, I'm going to go with my A. All right, now, where on the next string down, D, where can I hit one of these cool notes? So we know that's our 5th, 6th, 7th, root. There's a 9th. All right. So from my root note there, I know there's another 5th there. So we've actually got a cool little chord right up here. All right, so I've actually come up with an open chord here and suspended the 3rd, just slipped in a 5th and a 9th, and I've come up with something really cool. All right, and that's what you can do with these suspended and added chords. We'll leave it there. See you next time.